And welcome back. Well, there are people like me that enjoy mowing the lawn.
You do.
I do.
Your mom does too. But what if your mower isn't working well? That can be pretty frustrating. In this sponsored story, we had to Stutheit Implement to get some ideas on how to keep your mower running perfectly.
Maybe your lawn isn't looking great. There could be a reason for that. We're at Stutheit Implement at Syracuse, and we're getting a little Mowing 101 class here. I'm joined by Arlie Jones. You've been here a long time.
13 years in March, so.
What are some of the things that people forget to do that maybe cause their lawn not to look very good or their mower not to work very well?
So two of the main things that I would probably suggest would be to always check your oil and be aware of what type of gas you're using. So before you start your mower, I would always check my oil and make sure that the oil level is at the proper level, because obviously an engine needs oil to run. So if you're low on oil, it may damage the engine. And then fuel and stuff like that, you're going to want to make sure that you're using quality fuel that's not more than maybe 30 days old. If you've had gas sitting in your barn or garage since last year, you're probably going to want to dump that out somewhere where they will safely dispose of it and start fresh this year. And then, you know, before winter, when you know you're not using it anymore, it's always a good idea to put some stabilizer in there and let the engine run for 10-15 minutes just to circulate that through there. Stabilizer just basically keeps your fuel fresh, helps keep moisture out. Any moisture that may get in your fuel from storage, the stabilizer will actually attract that moisture, and if it's not a lot, it will help run it through.
What else should we know? What are some other things that could help?
Probably the best thing a customer could do is always keep their mower clean. Keep it cleaned off. Keep the grass and everything away from the belts and the idlers and all that type of stuff, just because that stuff builds up on there, and then there's friction in there, and that stuff will heat up. It has potential to catch fire. It has potential to have hold moisture in there, and that can ruin bearings.
And as far as maybe keeping your blades sharpened, that's always good to get the look of your yard looking good.
Right, so if you got a dull blade, you can usually tell a couple of days after you've mowed if your blades are dull, because the tips where they were cut will be kind of brownish colored. If you got a good sharp blade, it'll stay green all the time. So, and then along with that too, if you're mowing wet, heavy grass and it's not throwing the grass out, it's probably a good idea to clean the underside of your deck, because stuff gets built up in there and it gets dusty in there, and then you mow wet and it gets clumpy in there, and then you don't clean it out, and it can just really cause a lot of problems with like the lift edge of your blade. I've seen it where the lift edge is actually hitting the stuff underneath the deck, and then that wears out the blade a lot faster, and it just doesn't throw the grass like it should.
All right, well, Arlie, I know I learned a lot from you today. It's good to kind of hear some of these good expert ideas from you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, you're welcome.